Hey, good morning, everybody. My name is James Tully. I'm the morning anchor at ABC Action News. How many of you guys watch ABC Action News? Better question. How many of your parents watch ABC Action News? That's better. We're going to talk about your upcoming school year because this is a really weird time. It's very different. Unlike anything I've ever experienced in my life, I'm sure your parents' lives as well. And now you guys are going through something that's just very, very different and strange. So we're going to start, and you guys just speak up when you want to answer. How's that sound? Okay. Good. So let's start with you guys telling me about what you think this next school year is going to be like for you. Just describe it. Tell me about what you think it's going to be like.
Well, I think the school year is going to be very different. We might have different safety procedures that we have to follow throughout, like walking through the halls. We're going to be wearing masks, so that's going to be different. Maybe social distancing. I don't know, but I know the school year is going to be different just because like everyone, we need to, everyone wants to be safe, right? And no one, wants to come home with the thing and then
Of course not.
they spread it throughout their family. So yeah, there's going to be different safety procedures, and
Anybody else? And whose dog was that? Whose dog's barking?
Mine.
Okay. Well, how about, does anybody plan on doing strictly learning from home, virtual learning, e-learning? Is anybody set for that? Josephine.
I'm going to be doing the online program.
All right, say that one more time.
I'm going to be doing the online program.
Okay.
Because it's a lot safer.
Gotcha, a lot safer. I see Kelly and Camden Basil have joined us. Hi, guys. Good morning.
Hello.
Hey, Kelly, long time no see. Good to see you.
I know, right?
So we're going to just keep going through. We're having a little roundtable discussion about the school year. How about this, guys? What's your opinion of how things ended for you last school year? Because I'm sure that was very different, too. Let's start with Naomi. Naomi, what was the end of last school year like?
It was like
Okay. All right. It was difficult. Can you talk to me about it? What it was like? How did things change?
it just changed because we were
I know sometimes these things are a little difficult. There's a delay, and then you realize you're up on the screen. Everything. Believe me, I know it's challenging. Savannah, Angelia, Jacob, Josephine, any of you guys want to talk about how your last school year ended and how you handled that? Just describe it to us a little bit.
Well, at my house, our whole family was on the computers in different classes because I have two little brothers and my mom and dad are both teachers. So everybody was in their different corner doing their own thing.
And this is at your house, right?
Yes, so it was very difficult. Plus, we got a Great Dane last summer, so we had to take care of him too.
I see you had a lot of challenges there. What was the learning experience like for you when you were home? Did you feel like you were learning as much when you were actually in a classroom? Did you feel like you were making progress? Tell me about that.
Well, we didn't really do much of new things because we were at home, so we just went back to geometry.
Okay. But did you feel like you were making progress? Did you feel like it was working for you? Did you feel like you were getting, smarter?
A little bit, not as much as we would have done in school.
Okay, so you don't feel like you completed as much at home as you would have in the classroom?
Yes.
Does anybody else feel that way?
I do. It was a lot harder online than it would have been in the classroom.
Why was it harder?
It's just you didn't have your teacher there if you had a really hard question or anything. It was just much harder.
Josephina, how do you feel about it?
I thought it was a lot better because you for me, like, you know, going to have a live once a day, and
but like I can't see you and stuff because I'm scary. So like if you have in trouble, it's like harder to do like talk because like other people might be talking, like people might be talking.
Josephine, I want to say thank you so much for being a part of this, but it does sound like you're talking inside of a fishbowl right now, so it's kind of hard to hear what you're saying. I'm sorry about that. You feel free to. There should be a little chat box. You can type in anything you want in there. We'll try to go back to you, Jacob. I see you raising your hand there. You want to talk to me about it a little bit?
Yeah, kind of like Angelia said, it was a very hard. I would say like it's just like another experience that in an uncertain time like this, right? Like
Right.
We were on the computers all day, communicating back and forth with my teachers with, the Google Classroom. And sometimes, there would be challenges, hard questions, like assignments that we would have to do in all subjects that I quite didn't understand just because I focus better when I am in the classroom and when I am, personally, talking to people, right, in person. And I tend to focus better and do better. So yeah, it was hard. It was a hard end to the year, but I got through it and just enjoying my summer now and preparing for next year.
Jacob, are you sure you're not a 35-year-old man? You're really well spoken, my friend. You described that really, really well. Let's go a little. I want to go a little bit deeper on that. So, do you kind of agree with Savannah a little bit in how the at-home learning experience wasn't nearly what it was in the classroom?
Yeah,
that's where you are, right?
No, it wasn't. Yeah, they to the point where they literally changed the whole report card setup. Or when I got my report card, it wasn't A's, B's, C's, and D's and F's. It was pass or fail, right? So I also will say that there were different kinds of assignments that we weren't doing when we were in school. That's probably because I transferred schools in the middle of the year because we moved here.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a hard end to the year, but again, I got through it, and we all did, and
do you feel confident that if you have to start this next school year just like that you're going to have an okay learning experience moving forward? Are you confident in the instruction, in the teachers, in the guidelines? You are.
Because at the end of last year, I didn't quite understand the process that we were doing. Okay, we're gonna be doing this. This is how you do that, right? I didn't quite understand that, but now, as I got through the end of last year, this summer, I sort of thought about that randomly, and it kind of settled in. So if the school year does start out off like that, I think I'll do a little bit better, but of course not as better as I am in the classroom in person with the teachers and others.
Right. But you're saying you can make do, and that's what you're preparing to do at this point.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back up to Action Air 1. I'm sorry, it's Josephina with her headset on in the chop. No, not in the chopper. She's right in her living room there. Hi, Josephina. Do you want to try and tell me a little bit about what you were going to go into again about the at-home learning experience and what it was like for you at the end of last school year?
Yeah, it was a lot harder because we were learning about one topic and some people didn't get it, maybe, and I didn't get it sometimes, and it was harder for the teacher to explain it and explain the topic, and it was just harder, and then you had to do work, but you might have not understood the topic, and it was just a lot harder to do all the work and stuff because you didn't get a lot of help on it because there was several people there on the call when you had your live talk together.
So get a little jumbled together. It was hard to, yeah, right. That's what we're trying to prevent from happening today. All right, again, we're having a roundtable discussion with elementary age kids here from all over the Bay Area. It's so glad. I'm very, very glad that all of you guys made some time to join us here for this. Let's start with maybe let's continue, I should say, with one of the most important questions. And that's how safe you feel if you have to go back into the classroom with what you understand about the pandemic and what's going on. Let's talk about how safe you feel. Who wants to start? I saw Angelia's hand go up. Go right ahead.
I am scared to go back to school because COVID's still around, and I don't want to have any chance of harming my loved ones that have medical problems.
And do you have anybody close to you that you're really worried about?
Yeah, my mom.
Wow, That's really important. So that's a very good reason to be concerned. Absolutely. Jacob, I saw your hand up.
Yeah. Going back to school this year, if we do, yeah, COVID's going to still be around. I'm not scared. Like, like, oh God, I'm gonna get the virus, and I'm not scared, but I will, take precaution. Like, okay, I don't want to be close to this person, or like, I don't want to be close to anyone. But just wear your mask. Social distance. Try and stay as far as you can. Just try not to do something that you think, okay, this is going to require, us, people getting close together, or something like that. You know what I mean. But yeah, I'm not that scared to go back to school. I want to, just because I want to get back into the routine. But I will still take, precaution of what, I'll watch where my hands are going. I'll watch where I'm going with different people. Like that kind of stuff.
Right. You don't have any immediate concerns at home with anybody that you're really worried about getting the virus, is what you're saying. So, yeah.
Well, my grandparents, but I'm confident.
All right, we have two different ends of the spectrum. That's good. Angelia and Jacob have two different points of view. I did want to mention, we've got Camden Basil over there in the corner, and Kelly, I know you're standing by. If you want to talk a little bit about, I understand he's going through digital kindergarten, and I wonder what your thoughts might be about that, because you wonder if you kind of move down the grade level a little bit, if maybe that's easier or more difficult when you go through a digital learning process.
I am definitely nervous about it. I mean, we're going to start, I guess now August 24th, and VPK was hard. I mean, just doing a few things and having like paperwork sent home every day. But now to think about the fact that he's going to go through kindergarten digitally, it's a little overwhelming. I mean, I don't know really what to think. What's going to happen? Is the teacher going to be right in front of him? Is he going to get to see the other kids? Because that's huge. Like right now, just getting him to sit here and tell him he was going to get to see some other kids his age or a little bit older than him. He was so excited to sit here and see some kids. Like the interaction is huge for kindergarten.
Social development is so crucial at that age.
Yeah, and
right?
it's totally all about like that socialization, and he misses that. He misses that daily. So you miss that? You miss your friends? Yeah.
Well, Camden, buddy, you're here with a bunch of people that would love to be your friend right now. We're all hanging out together virtually. Hey, Naomi Hunt, I have a question for you up there in the corner. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the social interaction and missing your friends and being home for so long. How did that make you feel? How did that affect you when you didn't see your friends for a really long time at school at the end of last year?
It made me kind of sad because I wanted the whole school year to be with my friends because they're like the closest friends I have, and I just wanted to play with them.
Anybody else feel the same way? Should be a pretty obvious guess, right? Let's talk about suggestions. Let's give you guys the floor a little bit about what you'd like to see and maybe some things that you think your school should keep in mind when it comes to teaching you this next school year. Let's see some hands of anybody that might have some suggestions. You've had a lot of time to think about it, I'm sure. There's some things going around your head. Jacob, I'll defer right down to you, sir. Go ahead.
Maybe spread out the desk a little bit. They also said, we're going to wear masks, right?
Yes, you're going to, at this point, we're at a situation where there are what are called mask ordinances, mask mandates, where there are requirements in certain counties to have them worn indoors at all times. We certainly think that that's going to translate right into your school. So yes, mask wearing is one thing. So Jacob, you said we're wearing masks.
Like everywhere. There's going to be like hand sanitizer stations. Maybe they like set up, a thing like where you wash your hands and you do the hand sanitizer.
Sure, you're going to have those stations too. Now that's if you go back in the classroom, but let's assume that you're doing at least some form of virtual learning. Okay, for all of you guys, you're learning in front of a computer and at home and not seeing your friends, not interacting with people directly. What are some things that would really help you make it easier? Would make it easier for you, I should say. Go ahead, Josephina.
if like that everyone showed their face, like they showed their face instead of like having like their face cam like off.
I didn't know that was something that you didn't see people's faces all the time. I didn't know that. So people turn off their cams, you don't see faces?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like at
Because
the
that
end
never
of the
happens in
year,
any of our work meetings, Jillian. Never. Go ahead, Josephine. I'm sorry.
like at the end of the year, we weren't allowed to turn our face cams on. We had to keep them off the whole time. And it was just like weird, like to not see anyone's face and stuff.
Okay, so there's one suggestion. Anybody else? And Angelia, go ahead.
Also, a lot of people don't attend them, so like a lot of your friends you won't get to see because a lot of people don't attend the classes.
Right. Yeah. So you're saying that you're not sure how many people actually go to the classes? Is that what you said?
Yeah, so you don't get to see all your friends and your classmates because some people don't attend.
Sounds like turning on the cameras might be a really good suggestion. That was a good one, Josephina. Savannah, I saw you had your hand raised.
Well, since we're doing school and we can't really see our friends if we're doing virtual, then maybe like 5 minutes before the class, we could all get on and we could all see each other and say hi.
Just a little opportunity to have some social interaction there at the beginning. That's a good one. I see Camden's hand just got put down. All right, well, maybe we'll go back to him. Or Kelly, if you have something to say, just give me a thumbs up. Jacob, I saw you. Go ahead.
Yeah. You know, with the friends thing, I kind of agree with everyone. Yeah, I want to see my friends, but also, you know, maybe something that they should add to distance learning in this one, and like a lot of different companies will have to cooperate with this. Different, like better websites that are for education, but they sort of give you a better understanding of the assignment. Like it was kind of confusing last year when we were doing our assignments, and like there was certain stuff that we didn't understand because like it couldn't like download into the website or something.
Sure.
Maybe different companies can create different websites that Hillsborough County schools can use to so the kids can better understand the assignment that they're doing. If everyone goes into like hands down virtual learning.
Anybody else feel like they didn't get the kind of help they needed when it came to doing assignments and things virtually? I saw she's shaking her head yes. Anything you can think of, Josephina too? Go ahead, guys. Tell me about some specifics. Let's go a little deeper on that. Angelia, do you want to go ahead?
I don't have really anything to say.
Go ahead, Jacob.
Yeah. There was some assignments that we had, like, because we were using Google Classroom, and there were some assignments that we had to do that, like, I couldn't find in the website, right? Well, so,
Okay.
like, there are some different assignments that are, like, hidden in, like, these different, like, sections, right, that I couldn't get to, or no one explained, like, how to do it. So there was like I would miss assignments sometimes, and I would be like, wait, what's going on, right? And she's like, oh yeah, well it was here, and then you click on this, and then you click on this link, and then like all
Well, you have to understand everybody. Even your instructors, your teachers are going through this at the same time.
It's definitely a challenge. I mean, this whole thing.
Did you bring up? Were you able to get the help you needed from your teacher? I mean, obviously you brought this stuff up with them that you couldn't find this, or I had some technical issues.
Sometimes I would tell them like if I needed help, and they would like come up to me right back. They would come right back to me. I felt good about that because I felt like all my teachers were like, they were on there 24/7 for us, right? Like they were, because they've got like a bunch of kids to handle, right? That they have to teach, especially during these challenging times. You're going on online learning, and it's like a different process, harder process as well. But yeah, I think definitely all my teachers came back to me when I needed help and when other kids needed help. But sometimes like the website with like glitches and stuff. Sometimes it would the internet would go bad or something like that. But yeah, I feel like the teachers helped me when I needed help. But yeah, there were sometimes like technical difficulties that I had to deal with.
Well, that is that is at least good to hear that you're getting the response you need. Hey,
Yeah.
again, we're talking with elementary age kids from all over the Bay Area here. A little roundtable discussion about going back to school. We want to hear directly from them. We want to put the ball in their court and talk to them about exactly what they're expecting and how they're going to handle things coming up. Let's see a show of hands. I'm not sure I asked this. How many of you are actually planning to go back to the classroom? If it is available to you as soon as the school year starts? Jacob, I see your hand raised. Anybody else? Naomi, you as well? Okay. Anyone else? And if you're not, Savannah, Josephine, Angelia, what are you guys planning to do instead? Are you going to do the e-learning virtual?
I'm doing the virtual learning.
Savannah, same thing.
Yes, so am I.
Okay. All right, Angelina. All right, great. Naomi, how do you feel about going back to before I ask Jacob, how do you feel about going back to the classroom? You've been away for so long. What are you thinking? What are you feeling before you go back?
I feel a little nervous because coronavirus is still happening and we still need to stay our distance, but we also need to have fun and keep learning. And I get nervous because of that, because what if the teachers forget that it's happening because we're still at school, we just need to stay distant.
Right. Do you feel like your school, like your teachers are going to do everything they can to keep you safe when you go back?
Yes, I just don't want them to do anything wrong, so we don't mess up anything.
Jacob, how do you feel?
Yeah, I feel nervous too, meeting different teachers, especially going into middle school, right? I'm, meeting different teachers who have who maybe have a different way of teaching different stuff that I've learned in the past. Nervous to, see my friends again, right?
Right.
And new friends as well. But yeah, knowing that on August 24th, I'm gonna be back into the process. I'm gonna be back to what I like, the good old day schedule, right? Waking up.
That's the plan. Yeah.
Right. It feels good to go back to the schedule. Especially going into a new school. I'm excited, to see the experience and to experience middle school, because it's the next chapter in not only your life but your school career. So I'm excited to get back into the process. Again, nervous to see everyone again and meet different people.
Do you guys feel like you have a responsibility to do anything different when you leave school to keep everybody else safe when you go back?
Wash your hands when you get back home. Just be cautious.
Be cautious.
What you're doing.
Naomi, how do you feel about that? Same way?
Yeah.
All right, good. Well, I think we're going to wind things down here. I'm going to give you guys the final word about anything you feel that you want to talk about or bring to the table here. Savannah, I haven't heard much from you. I wanted to go back to you and see if you had anything that was on your mind. You're going to be doing some virtual things. You feel confident about having a good school year and learning enough and feeling like you're making progress?
Yes, it's going to be hard because my entire family is going to go back to school, so I'm probably going to go to my grandparents' house. So it'll be a changed environment.
And definitely a changed environment. Josephina?
At first, I wanted to go back to school, but I feel like it's safer if you shouldn't go back to school because if you hang out with friends at all, you might put if you go back to school, you might put them in danger and yourself. And I feel like just the virtual is a lot safer for me and my family.
Well, Jacob, you're going back to the classroom. How do you feel about what she just said?
Yeah. Just I'm going to stay cautious. I want to get back into the routine. Like I said, I do better when I'm in person, in the classroom, doing assignments in person with the teacher. But yeah,
it's obviously it's your preferred way of learning. You've made that really clear. So you think that should take precedent, and you're willing to take the risks and the chance and trust the school is going to keep you safe.
Definitely, yeah. Because I know that they're gonna set some different stuff that we haven't had, with from safety to, they're going to cancel different stuff, because they think it's going to, spread it.
Sure.
But yeah, I trust the schools because, I've been hearing every day, literally, hourly, okay, we're going to be doing this and then we're going to be doing that, right? Because they're going to do this to keep us, not only us, the students safe, but our families and the senior population who is getting most affected by these matters.
Jacob, really well put. Hey, Kelly, if you're still standing by and you've been listening to this, I just want to get your input. Isn't this really interesting? Kind of accentuates what a strange time this is when, you can't help but hear Jacob out about how he obviously would much rather learn in the classroom, but then someone like Josephina is going to be doing virtual, and she's rightfully concerned about her health and going back and interacting with students. I mean, it's hard to see a right answer. It's hard to find the right path, isn't it?
It's actually really hard. And like Jacob and Josephina and you guys, you're really good at cleaning up after yourself and going to the bathroom by yourself, whereas a kindergartner needs help with those kinds of things. And a kindergartner has a lot more exposure to germs with kids in the way that they are. You guys are really good at cleaning up and being sanitary, but kindergartners get into some stuff,
Yeah.
So that's where it can get a little harder. And how do you tell a kindergartner, like Camden, do you want to wear a mask all day at school? Do you want to wear one all day on your face? You can answer. Do you want to wear one? You do? He's tried to wear one and he's worn it around the house, but it lasted 15 minutes.
Sure.
And that was it. So trying to make a kindergartner do that all day on social distancing when all he wants to do is hug all of his friends. You want to hug everyone, don't you? You want to chase up to them and see them and play on the playground? Yeah. So those.
No, I knew he and I had something in common.
Yeah. See?
Yeah, you're right. It's hard to tell kids that. Hey, Kelly, that's really good input. And let's end with this because I did want to ask the mask question because, a lot of parents that I talk to say it's going to be impossible to get you guys to wear a mask all day if you're inside at school. So I'm going to just run down the line because if that's going to be required, is that something you could actually do? Naomi, we'll just start with you and then I'll call on you guys and just tell me about how you feel about wearing a mask and if you actually could deal with wearing a mask for 6-7 hours a day. What do you think?
I think it will be a little hard because I can barely wear my mask at Disney.
Good answer. Savannah?
Well, like Naomi said, it's going to be very hard because, breathing in all of that warm air and then all of the warm air goes into my glasses and fogs them up. So it's going to be very hard for everyone that wears glasses.
But could you do it if you needed to?
I'm not so sure.
Josephina?
It's going to be hard, but I feel like if you really I feel like I could be able to do it because you're breathing in a lot of warm air and stuff, but I feel like I already wear it for a while. I've worn it for a while before, so I feel like it would be a little easier.
All right. Angelia, what do you think?
I actually don't mind the mask. I could wear my mask all day if I wanted to. It makes me hot, but I don't mind it at all. I could wear it for 24 hours or 48.
All right, she's a trooper. Jacob, you're one of the two in the group going back. You're gonna most likely have to wear one. How do you feel about it?
To be honest with you, I don't see me doing it all day because sometimes I'll get I can barely like everyone else said, you're breathing in all that warm air. It's definitely going to be a challenge. To be honest with you, sometimes I say, I can barely breathe in this thing. But we have to do it. If it's going to be a requirement to do it, I will do it, because I want to stop the spread. I want to get back to normal. They were talking about canceling sports this year. I'm a basketball player. And, of course, as an athlete, I would want to play, right? But,
Sure.
The are proposing, like, okay, I think we might hold off sports this year because, it's going to be hard for the kids to wear masks and that might spread it, So, yeah, if it's a requirement, I'm going to wear it because, I want to get back to normal. I'm sure everyone will, right?
Well, Camden's not exactly enjoying wearing his right now, but
Yeah,
it is what it is. Well, Jacob, I'm really glad that it's going to be at least 15 or 20 more years till you take my job. But you did a great job. All of you guys did an excellent job. Thank you for all of your time. And I think we had a really good talk here, and I hope we can do it again soon. So thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.